Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Trek Challenge. Unfortunately, there's no Trek review today. Just a lot of things going on here at the house, getting ready for Passover, a lot of cleaning. But I did want to do a video. So me and the missus early in the week went to go see Oz the Great and Powerful. So we thought we'd take a few minutes and let you know what we thought about this big movie that everyone's talking about. Of course, it's the prequel to the iconic Wizard of Oz, probably one of the biggest motion pictures ever made, probably one of the most well known. I would say for me, I thought it was a really good movie. Of course, James Franco, he had to grow on me as the Wizard. At first, I had a hard time really believing him, but I think about midway through the movie, either he got into his stride or I got more comfortable with him in the role. I don't know, but I started really getting, especially towards the end. The other thing, Mila Kunis, spoiler alert here, guys. A lot of spoilers in this one. Heads up. Mila Kunis, love her as an actress. Loved her in that '70s show. Loved her in a lot of the movies she's been doing. But as much as I did like her in this movie, I had a hard time, especially when she becomes the Wicked Witch of the West, sort of breaking away from, okay, she's playing the Wicked Witch, because sometimes it was a little hard to believe Mila Kunis as not just this iconic character, but this completely wicked, evil character. Her sister, the other Wicked Witch, Rachel Weisz, instructs her minions to go out and turn away all of the good people of Oz, but instead the Wicked Witch, Mila Kunis' character, comes out and says, no, we're going to destroy all of them. So sometimes it's a little hard to believe Mila Kunis in this role of someone who's like this evil. But I mean, for the most part, like I really enjoyed her portrayal of this very iconic character, and I think that I really enjoyed about the movie was sort of going back into that world of Oz, the fantasy and everything that's involved in being a part of that universe. And we saw it in 3D, and I think that this is definitely a movie. If you want to go see it in the theaters, you got to see it in 3D, because this is really one of these movies where this is where 3D is meant to be. Movies like this where it's very visually engaging. I think that's probably the biggest kudos most people get from this movie is the visual that you get from being in this mythical land of Oz. What did you think of the movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
I felt like it was a really good movie. I think the 3D was definitely worth it. It was one of those movies where like the 3D actually like popped at you and actually made a difference in movie experience.
You were thinking of the actors and the roles they play. Again, these are like iconic roles that I think all of us grew up with. What did you think of these actors trying to portray these characters filling these huge shoes that they had to fill?
Well, I feel like James DeFranco, he did a pretty good job as the Oz the Great and Powerful. The original movie didn't really have like backstory on him, so we didn't really know much about his character to begin with, so it was very fresh, very new. And I feel like the way they portrayed him kind of fits, like, I really like how they threw in the end, like, how he becomes the face. Spoiler. Mila Kunis is the Wicked Witch of the West. I really think that it wasn't her acting that was the problem. I feel like the makeup was a little off. She still had the fresh roundness in her face. I feel like if they had contoured her makeup a little more, give her a little more of a edge, I think that she would have been more believable. She was definitely the woman scorned in the movie, which is cool.
And on that note, I think that really sort of gives backstory to why the Wicked Witch. I mean, we sort of accepted as kids watching the movie that she's just the Wicked Witch and she's a bad person, but this sort of gives backstory as to why she is this sort of an evil person. And I get what you're saying with the angles, and she's like Mila Kunis with green face paint on. But I think the same thing with the Wizard. I sort of took that in stride because this is, I mean, theoretically, like 30 years before Dorothy ever makes it to Oz. So by that time, I mean, in the original, the Wizard is an older man, and you could sort of, I could sort of dismiss it, but I totally get what you're saying about how it was just hard to sort of, like, it's just Mila Kunis in the green face paint. Like, how, like, you're not tricking me on that one.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought the set was really, really pretty. It was definitely an adventure. My favorite scene was probably them in the bubbles flying over all of Oz. That was really cool. there was one scene, and I can't remember what it was, but it really jumped out at you. I mean, 3D, it is like almost like it was coming at you, and I literally jumped in my seat. It was,
I think the tornado scene was that.
Yes, the tornado scene. There were so many good scenes in the 3D, and I think you just have to see it in 3D to make it an awesome experience.
And I do like that there's a lot of connections to things that you saw in the original Wizard of Oz. Now, I know this is all based on a lot of pre-existing literature, and I'm not familiar with it, so I don't know if this is something that was already there or if this is something the movie makers did, Sam Raimi did when he directed it. But like just like in the original Wizard of Oz, the Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow are all pre-existing characters from Dorothy's Life in Kansas. So too is the Flying Monkey and the China Doll, based on characters that we meet in the beginning of the movie. In Kansas and the Fair, when the wizard, when Oz is still working, these state fairs and things. I will say this, the one thing that at the end kind of like, I was like really had to throw that in there was this weird romance with Glinda the Good Witch and the wizard. Like, couldn't we just have them be respectful? Like, okay, maybe there's some affection, but it's like, we're not going to have them kiss at the end of the movie. Like, it's one of these things I feel like is completely unnecessary, and if they are going to make sequels, which in this day and age of movies they probably will make a whole trilogy out of this, is it really necessary for the wizard to have a romance with the Good Witch, Glinda? I don't know. To me, that was like, I don't understand why that was necessary.
I feel like the entire movie they were trying to play him up as this playboy, which was like, for the most part, I could see, like, being a con man, conning women is probably where he got started. So I see that, and it fit into the story. It was necessary for, like, the Wicked Witch's character development. But as far as Glinda goes, I feel like that wasn't in her character. Like, it was totally in his character to do something like that, but not as a, like, even if he did fall in love with her, because she looks exactly like the girl that he really, really liked at home, I feel like it wasn't in the Good Witch's character. I feel like she didn't need that. She could have given him a peck on the cheek. That would have been good to show the affection, or he could even have done the same, or it could have gone several different directions,
but not with the weird romance. I think that's what sets me off, is I don't see that being Glinda's character, even in this version of her character. I don't see that that's something that she as a character would do. But all right, so overall, what would you suggest people go see in a theater? Wait to rent it? What would your suggestion be?
Theater, 3D, all the way. Go see it.
All right, I definitely agree. I mean, unless you saw the trailer and like you don't really want to see it. If you saw the trailer and you were really interested, I'd just go in and see it and seeing it in 3D, because this is one of those movies where the 3D is really kind of worth the extra couple of bucks you can pay for it.
Yeah.
So if you liked our review, guys, make sure you hit that like button, favorite, share, Twitter, Facebook, however you do it. There will be a new Trek Challenge review. Hopefully next Thursday. The schedule's very busy with the holiday coming up, but if not, the following Thursday. If you haven't joined the challenge yet, over there's going to be a link. You can click on that, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.